All right, man, so real quick, kind of an up close of the glove. The wrist cuff isn't obnoxiously big. It sits nearly snug to my fist. Only it has like a little half an inch of wiggle room, which is nice because you don't want to have the wrist cuff super tight or too loose. For example, the Pro X2 line from Fly, the wrist cuff is insanely ginormous. I'm talking about like it hangs out probably, it looks like a 20-ounce glove or a 24-ounce glove if there was a sizing like that. I'm sure there is, but the wrist cuff is insanely huge on that Pro X2. That's why I ended up getting the Fly Lightnings because they fit snug and they fit right conform to my wrist. They feel insanely great, comfort-wise, fit-wise. Whereas this, you have to break it in and kind of wiggle your hand and mold it, if that makes sense. You gotta mold it to your hand and your fist and wrist. If you like winning gloves, I've heard people say they feels like pills on your hand. You could give these kind of gloves a try. I have a homeboy, his name is Juan Ibarra. He is, correct me if I'm wrong, amateur right now. I'm not entirely sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, Juan. But he also vouched for these gloves, and I was like, hey, what gloves do you use, and which ones have you used? He said, man, I've used Hit and Move, I've used Fly, I've used Everlast, etc. He said he loves his rivals, and I'm not gonna lie. If you just wanted one pair of gloves to do it all and have the most comfort and protection in, I would say give Rival a check. They feel like pills on your hand, whereas the Hit and Moves, I'm gonna order the 24 ounces recently. I ordered the 24 ounce, so I'm gonna give you that kind of conditioning video. But man, this right here, bro, it has more than enough padding up on your fingers. It has a solid inch, maybe, or 3/4 of an inch of protection that hangs over your actual fingers. My fingers ran right here. Boom. So it's a solid 3/4 of an inch, half an inch of protection that goes over. What else, man? This feels like a straight up pillow on your hand. I ain't even gonna lie. I could punch as hard as I could physically, and I'm not gonna feel it. I'm gonna feel the punch connect, but I'm not gonna feel it throughout my body. And that's what I really love about this boxing glove specifically. I've not tried any other brand. I've not tried any other glove from the line of Rival. But man, if you just want a glove that kind of does it all, I fell in love whenever I first saw these. Cause I was like, oh, they're all white. You know, I love all white gloves. I love all white gloves in general. But I had to switch it up every now and then. I got the all whites as well for the Hit and Moves. Shout out my boy Ozzy from Hit and Moves. And yeah, man, I cannot complain with these boxing gloves from Rival. I think this is a masterpiece in itself. The one caveat I have about these gloves, and I really do not like that. Something I don't like from this brand of boxing gloves Rival, that even Fly excels in, and specifically Hit and Move, they're like top dogs in that category, is wrist support and flexion. So right here you can see it's a little loose. If I tighten it, obviously, like as if I was to use the gloves regularly, I'm gonna tighten them down. And I'm gonna do it how I regularly do my lacing whenever I'm just using these gloves for conditioning and I'm not throwing power punches. I'll do this. I'll just kind of put it right here on the wrist. On the forearm section. And look, I'll throw a punch just conditioning, getting a sweat, like a light punching day. I'll keep it done here. If I know I'm gonna be working specifically on power punching technique, etc., I will purposely make a cross mark, so a cross stitching kind of design, and then I'll bring the lacing loop as close as I can to the wrist and tighten it a solid 80%. And look at that, man. That instantly becomes way more stable and it has much more stability than what it would regularly. The grip bar is probably a solid inch, 3/4 of an inch thick. It feels really nice. You just gotta boom, clench your fist ever so slightly, and boom, you're already there, man. I'm talking about this glove, low-key might be handcrafted with pride too well, because this is a perfect glove for just, I guess, if you wanted a glove really to do it all. I have obviously not tried the other Hit and Move gloves, so once I do, I will be completely honest with you guys. But man, if you throw, I used to have braids, like I said. Let me just clip it and go on to the next part of the video. This glove, the inside liner, man, it looks practically new. It is a little sensitive to the Velcro, kind of wear and tear. I mean, I don't know if you could tell. There's ever so slightly somewhere up around this section right here. Up around this little section, so 2 inches in, 3 inches give or take. But apart from that, the wrist has a solid, let me get metric and specific here. It has roughly around a solid 1/4 of an inch of protection. The upper wrist has 1/2 an inch of protection, honestly, and fam, you can feel that 1/2 an inch for sure. The thumb is nicely padded, and it excels in protection in the upper thumb, whereas the lower thumb doesn't really need it because you're mostly clenching it most of the time. Whereas up here, you might get bumped in with someone's elbow or make some kind of contact. Some are punching. So yeah, this is really protected in the upper part of the wrist, the thumb. This has a bunch of protection. Right here, it lacks a little bit of protection, which is why I kind of like putting the lacing loop over this specific region, which is the wrist, so it doesn't flex. My wrist is right here, boom. So this is kind of useless. I'm gonna rewrap it obviously right now just for demonstration purposes. The upper section right here, my fingers usually land around this area, and I have a solid 1/2 an inch to 3/4 of an inch of protection where it hangs over my finger. So boom, imagine this, and it hangs like roughly, boom, over this much. That was a horrible demonstration. You get the point. This is the softest glove, and I tell my homeboy whenever we spar, I'm like, bro, I should let you wear these. He has some broken in 2-year-old Everlast gloves, and I was like, fam, my head is rattling, bro. And we're not even going hard, we're just like fast punching. Obviously, I'm a bit heavier than him, but every time he throws that jab, just boom, and then bam. I'm like, oh. I'm here, bro. Just try this on, man. Don't torture me anymore. I ended up giving him the power locks, but like I said, this has a solid, I mean, like, look. This is after 3 months of everyday use, and it goes back up instantaneously. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if these really are horsehair gloves. Maybe they are, and I just don't know what horsehair feels like. I don't get a decent amount of pop with these. Obviously, they're not latex like Ray is, but yeah, man, if you want a really protective glove, I would really give these a try. They're amazing. They're like $260 give or take, which is what, let's say, what other gloves are $260? I know for sure Hit and Move is recently around that $260-ish mark, give or take. But they're still relatively a new brand, so that's maybe why people haven't really like found out about them or don't really give them a shot. I would tell you guys, go to Box Up Nation, give it a shot, man, because Hit and Move is legit. This glove, I'm gonna give it credit where it's due, man. This is also legit. This is a very pillowy feeling glove, whereas Hit and Move I feel is more dense and more like rigid on your hand, whereas this feels like a straight up pillow, even when you're punching. So much so that I think that's what makes me overpronate my wrist, and it kind of flexes it because of how soft it is in this region. Boom, the impact here, and you can see it, like you can naturally see. Boom, it kind of does this or this. It has so much padding up here that just kind of, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, I'm gonna get right now into the details. All right, man, so I'm gonna just do another voiceover. I'm gonna do the other clip, but yeah, man, check me out. So this glove is a solid 9 out of 10. The one main really kind of big dislike I have about this glove is that it's so pillowy and it's so nicely padded that it's almost a downside to it. For example, whenever I'm punching at a straight line, like I'm throwing a straight jab, my wrist every now and then will just either bend back a little bit or bend down. Even that there's times whenever it'll kind of bend to the sides. That's just how, I guess, much padded it is, how greatly padded it is up at the front of the knuckles, that it just kind of makes me, and it forces me to use a bit more stability in my wrist technique, which isn't a bad thing, you know, but that's just kind of something to watch out for. I obviously told you guys how to fix that issue. Just put the lacing loops around your wrist area, and obviously you could wear athletic tape under your wrist like I am currently wearing. And yeah, man, I don't know, I think this glove is a solid 9 out of 10. Right now I'm gonna quit yapping, and I'm gonna just skip straight to the hitting the bag part of the video, so stay tuned for that part, y'all. Alright, man, so I'm gonna just voice over again because this music is so loud. It's like, I swear they do it every time I'm about to record a YouTube video. The employees say, hey, you know what, let's turn this speaker to the max. that SpongeBob episode whenever he wakes up with that freaking train horn, boat horn. Just that's exactly how it feels, man. No cap. Right here, I'm just throwing kind of little, nothing major, just bam, 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 boom, 1, 2. So it's kind of. I'm not trying to do any power punches with them really yet. I do end up doing some power punches, but like I said, I just don't want to get copyrighted by YouTube because every time I pull up to Crunch Fitness, expect the music to be full on blast. And I'm just talking in general for the experience of you guys. What else? I'm about to do the video for the fly boxing gloves. I'm probably gonna go to my crib and bring them. Again, gym. I only have the Hit Boots and Rivals with me at the moment, so I'm probably gonna end up going for them. Giving them a do so. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up. Desperate. Please, Mr. Beast collab. Yeah, man. Stay tuned for the video for the fly boxing gloves, and drop a comment if you want me to see any other kind of boxing gloves or any kind of reviews, colognes, headgear, etc. Take care, y'all. Peace.